Hello, everyone. My name is Anwar White, and I want to welcome you to today's Masterclass. Now, as you can see, the title of today's Masterclass is Get Your Guy. 4 shifts you need to make to finally find love. I'm so excited to have you here. I know that you've probably been on other webinars or masterclasses before with a bunch of preamble and BS, but that's totally not me. And to be honest with you, girl, we don't have that kind of time. We have to find and get your guy. So I want to get to the good stuff as quickly as possible. Before we get to it, though, I want to make sure that our time here together is heart-led. So let's put both of our hands on our heart and take a deep breath, allowing us to open our hearts for this class. Awesome. Now let's get started. I believe that love is why we're here. It is truly a superpower. You know, when you're a little girl, didn't you imagine a beautiful life for yourself full of romance, maybe a white dress, maybe a picket fence, maybe traveling around the world with your partner, maybe starting a family with 2.3 kids? Now, I know that modern dating isn't easy, but I also know that you can do this, and I want to show you how. So, who is this for? This is for women who are smart, successful, and open-minded, and are totally ready to rock their love lives out like they have in other parts of their life, but they just can't seem to attract and keep a great partner and make it last. This is also for single women who are just sick of online dating or maybe stuck in a cycle of 4 to 6 week relationships. These are the relationships that are long enough to see potential, but can still leave you so heartbroken and just annoyed and frustrated. This is also for women who are really ready to find love, the love of their life, and start a family and have someone to grow old with. So if you want the love of your life and to get your guy without settling, and you don't have to ever date again, then this is totally for you. If you want to attract your soulmate this year and get your guy, then pay special attention in this masterclass because this is going to be the best 30 minutes you've spent on yourself and your love life in a very long time. So in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to teach you how to attract your soulmate relationship this year, even if that feels weird and impossible right now. I'm going to teach you how to claim your power and harness your feminine energy to magnetize men with ease. I'm going to show you how to put the focus back on you instead of being exhausted and frustrated from putting yourself out there constantly. I'm also going to teach you how to level up your attractability, your self-worth, your deservability, so that you can attract in high-quality men, even if that sounds too good to be true right now. Here is my big promise to you. In this masterclass, I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step strategy to attract, get, and keep your guy. I know that might seem impossible right now, but my clients are doing it consistently, and if they can do it, Queen, you can do it too. And I'm going to show you the exact strategy right now. But before we get into that, I just want to check in with you. Does any of this sound like you? Do you find yourself going out with guys that you're just not really attracted to, but you feel like, well, dating is a numbers game and I just have to? Or are you worried that you might be pushing away the guys that you want and the successful and handsome men don't come and talk to you, but the ones that you're not interested in do? Do people ever tell you that you're intimidating? Oh my God, that is so annoying. It's the absolute worst. And you're frustrated because you aren't sure how to change that without giving up who you are or your dreams. And you just don't want to play games. Are you tired of settling for friends with benefits when what you really want is a big soulmate relationship filled with intimacy and heart connection so that you can feel like a queen daily? Are you scared to open your heart again because you just can't take another heartbreak? Do you worry that you don't know how to have an intimate, committed relationship anymore, even if a great guy comes along? Do you feel like love is hopeless, to the point that when you see other people getting married or having pregnancy announcements on Facebook, you feel a little bit jealous and you're wondering, why not me? What's wrong with me? Do you secretly believe that deep down you are broken and unlovable? Queen, let me tell you something. That is totally not true. You were and are totally worthy of love, and you are inherently lovable. You just haven't had the skills that you need to make this part of your life work. And finally, are you secretly terrified that you'll end up alone with no one to grow old with? If any of that sounds like you, then I have some really good news for you. None of these are actually the real problem. They're just the symptoms. The real problem is that you haven't made what I call the shifts. And we're going to talk about what those are in just a second. Once you make those shifts, you're going to totally stand out and start meeting great guys everywhere. You'll feel really comfortable about dating online and getting what you want online. It'll be easy for you to move on from bad breakups from the past. And the guys that weren't calling you or checking in on you, they're going to come out of the woodwork. Let me tell you, this happens all the time with my clients. And they'll come back and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I wish things had, been different. I'm sorry for the way that I treated you. I didn't know what I had until it was gone. All of those lines, right? Once you make these shifts, you're going to also be so happy that everything in your life gets better, including your career, your friendships, and entire outlook on life and your future. Once you really internalize these shifts, you'll have unshakable confidence, self-love, and power. You're not going to have to guess what to do or say as you go through this process of texting and dating and getting into a relationship all the way to engagement. You're going to change your destructive dating patterns and stop attracting men who just don't work for you. The non-committal, unsuccessful, unavailable men. And start having high-quality men who come into your life on your terms, not theirs. The ones that are really down to make a lasting commitment. And yes, there are tons of men who want commitment. I've seen my clients attract so many of them. Once you make these shifts, your passion, your connection, your communication in this relationship will get better and better, instead of a relationship that's getting worse and worse. I love helping women through that process. Despite the pain of modern dating, my clients are absolutely getting the love that they want, and they're not having to feel horrible about themselves along the way or play silly games. So it's not about their weight, their race, their location or career, how many kids they have, or even if they're doing things perfectly or not. Know this, Queen. The women who are totally crushing their love lives, stop blaming men and start taking some serious, deliberate, feminine action. Here's the thing. If you don't, it can really cost you. There are huge benefits of being married or coupled, right? People that are married have better health, they live a decade longer, they have way more passion, and they report higher levels of happiness. They make 4 times as much money than a single person because they can take on opportunities and do things like start their own businesses, invest in things like real estate or the stock market to really level up their financial situation. So before we go any further, let me just take a little bit of time to introduce myself so that you know who I am and that I know what the hell I'm talking about. So my name is Anwar White, and I am the founder of the company Get Your Guy, which is all about helping women find their forever love by helping them step into their queendom and femininity and less from their headspace. I'm actually married myself to the love of my life, and we have 3 beautiful children together. This is a picture of us as our 3rd child was being born. Now, I help women all around the world get into great, loving relationships, and I'm known for helping women find the love of their life because I'm a certified dating, love, and relationship expert. I also have an Ivy League MBA, and that means that I could really be doing pretty much anything in the world right now. I worked in corporate America for a while, and it just wasn't fulfilling. I believe I have a deeper purpose to really help women create lasting love, so I teach from what I know works, from years of helping countless women. 80% of my clients get into a great relationship within just 6 months of completing my program, even if they've been single for like a decade or so. So if you want to win in love, and I know you do, or else you wouldn't be on this presentation, make sure you get a pen and paper and you start taking some notes. Look, truth be told, I was doing some form of this since the playgrounds of elementary school, helping girls meet boys, helping boys meet girls. I would say it's in my blood, and I absolutely love what I do. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about how I discovered these 4 shifts. Like I already told you, I've gotten the chance to work with thousands of women from all around the world. And you know what's really interesting? Some of these women had incredible breakthroughs where they went from no confidence and chronically single to self-confident queens in just months, married in years and having kids and making beautiful families. Some other women would get results that I thought were also good, like making breakthroughs in self-care and love and getting dates left and right. And then there were some women that struck out and didn't make any progress and stayed stuck. As I began to look at these women, and it wasn't just the women I was working with, it was also the women that my colleagues were working with as well. As I observed all of these women, specifically over the past few years, I got to notice that the top achievers, the women that got the best results, did 4 very specific things. Just 4 things. It didn't matter if they had never had a boyfriend before, they were curvier, older, were a certain race, or lived in a certain quote-unquote undesirable location. The women who succeeded were the ones that were doing these 4 things. And I believe that if you can just do these 4 things, that you will be able to gain tremendous confidence, self-awareness, and true, authentic love and happiness. Okay? So there are 4 key shifts that you must make so that you are able to attract and get your guy in a matter of months and have a blast while doing it. And I'm going to walk you through all of these shifts on this session now. So the first shift that I want to talk about, and it's so important, it's all about intensifying your feminine energy. And this is where I see so many women get stuck because they think that they are being feminine when they're actually not, and subsequently pushing men away. You might have heard a lot about femininity and feminine energy, but there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of what I call false femininity, and that's not what I want for you. Your feminine energy is unique to you. It comes from your soul naturally, and you already have it. I'm going to help you find and reveal your beautiful femininity that you already have inside of you. So with this, you can attract and flirt like crazy with any guy, anywhere, anytime. Seriously. And so the more you do this, the more men you're going to attract. And this is really about the polarity of feminine and masculine energies, the yin and the yang. So when you put your focus on your feminine energy and not on the guy, you're going to flip this whole thing around, the chasing, and bring the dance of attraction and courtship back to its natural balance. This natural mating order, where the woman gathers attention and feels and receives, and the man hunts or pursues and gives, that's what I'm talking about. I know this sounds super archaic and anti-feminism, but it still holds true today, and I would not be doing my job if I was not going to tell you the truth 100%. This order starts with the feminine energy, and therefore giving you the natural power, and you will be in charge and have this power of attraction instead of feeling like you're being brainwashed by some weird, insecure pickup artist guy who is totally manipulative. So this is Molly. Molly is one of my clients, and she hadn't gone on a date in 6 months, and she was still actually getting over a heartbreak. She hadn't had a relationship in about 3 years, and she kept thinking, that was the one that got away. She's a super smart doctor in California, but she just didn't know how to make dating work for her. And she wanted to know how to date without having to go online. So instead of following what she thought men wanted, which is what she had been doing before, following the advice of her sisters and her friends and the magazines or random blog articles, she worked with me to learn to follow what felt good and right. And that means that she stayed in her power. And because of that, everything changed. Instead of getting nervous or being guarded, she learned how to flirt with confidence and magnetize men. I helped her find her feminine energy, and that's how everything shifted. Handsome men started asking her out and smiling at her, and even her male colleagues started talking and flirting with her more, saying things like, "Something's different about you." And very respectful, high quality men started approaching her and asking her out. She even had the most romantic date of her life. They spent all day in LA. So, my clients are attracting high quality men because they are finding their natural feminine energy and turning that into feminine action. So, I have a few other little stories. On the left hand side is a client, Jennifer, and she says, "Anwar, I have the best story from last night. We went to happy hour with two girlfriends. A cute guy took a pic of us and kept looking over. Shortly after that, we were leaving, and as soon as we walked out of the bar, we heard, 'Excuse me, ladies.' I looked back and he was addressing my friends, and then he came up to me and said, 'Do you have a boyfriend?' And I said, 'No.' He asked for my phone number and told me I'm very attractive and that he's from out of town and would like to take me out. I don't know if I'll hear from him, but it was awesome anyway. He's cute, assertive, and 36. I think that's pretty awesome. Oh, and I also have a second date with Rob." So, this woman, she just turned 40 and she has guys coming up to her just when she's out with her friends, asking her out, asking for her number, asking for a date. And she's also dating someone else right now that she met online. She is killing it. And that's why I told her, "Get it, girl." She was rocking it out and she continues to do so. So the example on the right is that I want to share is from one of my clients, Holly. She says, "Thanks, Anwar." I'm like, "Yeah, holy smokes, it's been a heck of a year. Honestly, I just feel ready. Not sure I'm at a place to decide who just yet, but it's funny. I had this feeling like, oh man, it's going to be hard to choose between John and William. And now watch, someone's going to come along and blow both of them out of the water." I'm like, did I just maybe predict that? Haha, too soon to say, but I'm kind of laughing at myself. So here's the deal. She is dating two different guys, and then another guy actually came along and was interested in her. So lots of high quality men for my clients. And this is what happens when you are in tune with your feminine energy and power. So the bottom line is that you should totally be getting asked out in person. And if you're not, then something is missing. Men are completely captivated by what they don't have. And that's your feminine energy. You already have it, but it just hasn't been harnessed, and no one has ever told you how to be feminine in a way that's authentic and still really powerful. Once you tap into this, you're going to be able to have your pick of guys and be totally set up to move beyond the first dates and into real relationships. So the second shift that we have is mastering your vulnerability. So, how many of you have ever compromised and not said anything when a man was being disrespectful or there was something happening in the relationship you didn't like? Maybe you saw a red flag and you just thought that it was going to be fine. You weren't being vulnerable. You weren't sharing how you feel a lot of the times because oftentimes women will hold back what they really want. Oftentimes they won't show what doesn't work for them and they won't share what does work for them because they're afraid of abandonment, afraid of pushing that person away. But here's the deal. This behavior is actually a betrayal to yourself. And that you're going to end up with the worst kind of guy if you continue to do this. So, vulnerability is super important. The more vulnerable you are, the more he's going to step up to serve you. So, your sharing actually helps him navigate the relationship and it gives him the feedback that he needs to be a better man. Like, who doesn't want to be with a better man, right? Once you realize that your vulnerabilities are actually superpowers, you will take ownership of your experience, expressing what you need and want, and the man will want to protect you, not only from the world, but also from his own douchey behavior and from your negative thoughts about yourself. So a man's protector and provider instinct really comes out when you are willing to be vulnerable. In my program, we have men come into our group calls and talk to our queens, and I get to ask the questions that all of my clients are talking about and want to know about. So, what does that look like in action? Well, when Brenda came to work with me, she was struggling in relationships for about a decade. She had a problem attracting men. These men were non relationship guys, right? She would be in these, what I call situationships. She had a really hard time being vulnerable. She said that working with me was her Hail Mary pass, and that she was afraid that she'd end up a cat lady. Now, these are her words, not mine. So, 4 weeks from when she started to work with me, she wrote me and said, I started dating an awesome guy. He has his own house, he has his own car, he has his own business. Is totally chivalrous and keeps giving me what I want and need. And he keeps stepping up with his level of interest and commitment because I'm open and vulnerable, just like the way you taught me. I'm happy to report that now they are traveling and planning a life together, and she says that she's the happiest she's been in a long time. And she also went on to say that she didn't know how powerful it was for her, and it's even helping her career. So the bottom line is that if you're not getting second or third dates, or you're attracting the wrong men and you're doing all the work to make a relationship happen, just remember that the more vulnerable you are, the more he will step up. Men have to know that they're needed, and once you're able to master this, you will always be able to draw him in closer to you. You will always be able to feel wanted, cherished, desired, and taken care of. So once you're in a dating situation and you are inspiring him to step up, you're inviting him to step up again and again with your vulnerability. That brings us to our third shift. Heal your little girl and embody your inner queen. You have a little girl who is wounded and derailing your relationships, and it's time to heal her and love her. I know, it sounds weird, but just hear me out for a second. The little girl holds the key to your happiness and success in your relationships, but she needs some love and support first. Reconnecting with her will shift the entire way you relate to yourself and to love and relationships. So, who is this little girl? Well, have you ever wondered why you withdraw or get insecure in relationships? Have you wondered why you find it hard to open your heart and be vulnerable? Your little girl is the wounded part of you who has been abandoned, lied to, manipulated, or abused. And I just want to clarify that even if you grew up in a two-parent household and had a lovely childhood, you still have this little girl as well. All women do, given the messaging that women have in this society. And there's an aspect of you that believes that true love is unattainable, or else you'd be in a relationship right now. Your little girl shows herself when there is fear and tries to keep you safe and tries to protect you. I see this often so many times with my clients. They prioritize remaining safe rather than letting love in. So let's step back and think about this for a second. What this means is that because oftentimes you would rather stay safe and not commit so that you don't risk being hurt, you actually start attracting guys who also do not want to commit. Make sense? Because energy attracts same energy. Once you determine where your little girl is sabotaging in your love life, you can heal her and connect her with your innate, powerful inner queen. Now, who is this inner queen, you might be asking yourself? Well, think of that time that you were on top of the world. Maybe it was an amazing presentation you did at work. Maybe it was some community work that you've done. Maybe you've done something for close friends or family. That is your inner queen. She is the confident, authentic, trusting, powerful part of you. She never doubts her worth. She stands fully in her value. She doesn't need to protect herself in love or for fear of rejection. She knows how to satisfy herself. She even knows how to spoil herself because she loves herself that much. She always follows her instincts and loves being in her own company. And she doesn't feel less than when she's single because she knows her king is coming. She doesn't focus on the external because she knows that if her internal is right, she will experience true happiness and joy. Now I want to tell you about a client, a queen, really, by the name of Wanda. Now, Wanda was a successful finance professional. When she came to me, she had done a ton of self-development work, but nothing was really sticking, and she felt stuck. She had totally withdrawn from the dating scene and given up on love completely because it just wasn't working out for her. All of her friends were getting these awesome boyfriends, and she just felt envious and jealous of their love success. She wasn't valuing herself, and she was doing a lot of people pleasing, always putting the guy first, bending over backwards and getting nothing in return. So she decided to lean into her career so that she could keep herself busy and so she didn't have to face this love challenge and feel like a failure. Basically, she had given up on love and she was just exhausted. Here's how we helped her. First, we connected her with her inner child and healed deep trauma that had stifled her expression and growth since she was a young child. We had her fall head over heels in love with herself and claim her power. After that, there was no stopping her. She said, "For the first time, I am actually doing work that is moving me forward." She even started looking differently and feeling stunning and started attracting a completely new type of guy. Actually, tons of guys who were kind of fighting over her. She became authentic. She put herself first. She leveled up her mindset and confidence. And she killed her inner saboteur. The bottom line is, it doesn't matter how many dates you go on, until you've healed and embraced your little girl, you'll always find ways to sabotage your relationships, even if they have the potential to be something amazing. Now, that leads us to our final shift. Get a mentor. If you are serious about finding love, you gotta get serious about finding a mentor. You might be asking yourself why you should get a mentor. This is a big, vital shift. You've already been out there dating, and it hasn't really been working out for you. So my question to you would be, how are you going to transform some of these limiting beliefs after 30 years on your own? This is why I'm saying you should get a mentor ASAP. A mentor is someone that has already walked the path successfully and has probably helped so many women before you. This mentor can keep you accountable, help you break patterns, blind spots, and the behaviors that have been keeping you stuck for decades and get you to your desired goal of finding love and getting your guy in the shortest amount of time possible. Mentors also have roadmaps. You wouldn't want to get on the road without your GPS or Waze anyway, right? Or else it's going to take you a ton of time to get to where you want to go. You'd go down dead ends, you'd get lost, find yourself in shady neighborhoods. A mentor is going to accelerate you. Look, the most successful people have mentors, from Oprah to Michelle Obama to Julia Roberts to Angelina Jolie. Believe it or not, they also have limiting beliefs in their respective work. They know that they don't have to recreate the wheel, and you don't have to either. There's never been a better time to get serious about what is actually holding you back for 25 years or more. I want you to give up this notion of just trying so that you can actually get the results you're looking for and get your guy. What I've learned in doing this work is that success is 80% mindset and 20% action. If you are serious about finding your guy this year, then you will need a new winning mindset and consistent support from a mentor to keep you accountable. So you don't slip back into your old patterns and ways. So let's take a minute to see why mindset is so crucial. Mindset is all about the quality of your beliefs and your intention. When you level it up, you also level up and expand what is possible for you and get yourself laser focused on what you need to accomplish. This in turn gets you to not just take action, but inspired action with your natural instincts. And then you get the amazing outcome of getting your guy and getting to your happy. To change your current outcome, it's all about changing your mindset and taking action. Finding a mentor will change the trajectory of your life. A mentor helps you create lasting change instead of doing it alone and just collecting more and more information, with the same old books and seminars and articles online and weekend workshops. Again, mentors are able to create transformation, not just add more information. Getting a mentor is really saying to the universe that you are ready for love and ready to attract and get your guy right now. Here's the thing. You go through training for everything else in life. Doctors go to medical school, lawyers go to law school, except for relationship training. For some reason, we don't think we need to work on that. Getting into a relationship and spending the rest of your life with someone is a really big deal. And for those of you who want children, actually bringing another being into this world is a huge deal. Trying to do proper relationships without the training is crazy. I personally spent tens of thousands of dollars on mentoring myself, And every time it was a big decision. And I'm proud of those decisions because in those instances, I was saying yes to the universe and saying yes to me and choosing me and prioritizing my needs. And I want to empower you to do the same. So today I promised I'd show you how to attract your soulmate relationship this year, even if it feels impossible right now. How to claim your power and harness your feminine energy to magnetize men with ease. How to put the focus back on you instead of being exhausted and frustrated from putting yourself out there constantly. How to level up your attractability so that you can attract in high quality men, even if that sounds too good to be true. So here's what you need to win at love. You need to intensify your feminine energy so that you can start naturally attracting. You're going to need to master your vulnerability to fully form true connections and go from casual to committed. You're going to need to step into your queendom and ditch the unlovable, undeserving chatter you may be having. And you need to invest in a mentor and stop acquiring information and start the actual transformation. So now you have a choice. You can either take all of this information that I've given you and you can totally forget all about it. You can continue to feel lonely and depressed and stay single. You can continue wasting time online or on blind dates with low-value guys, wearing yourself out, feeling panicked and hopeless, distrustful or fearful. You can continue attracting the wrong guys who never show up for you and you can stay frustrated. Or if you are absolutely done with all of that bullshit and struggle and you want to be the one getting your guy and planning your wedding, then here's what I have for you. My team and I have set aside some time in the next 48 hours to speak to you personally about how you can apply these shifts into your life starting today. Whatever your biggest challenges are, we've seen it all and we know how to overcome it. In this session, we will work with you to craft a step-by-step game plan to fall in love with yourself, take your throne as a queen, and attract and get your guy. And the cost is absolutely free. On this call, we're going to gain clarity on 3 major things. What's holding you back in your love life, what you actually want when it comes to love, and what steps you must take to get your guy. We do this because we love helping amazing single women get out of their own way so that they can get their guy. Queen, this is your birthright. It shall not be denied. We're also really good at what we do, and we love it. Plus, we know that you may want our help to transform your love life. If so, we can definitely discuss that and see if it's a good fit for both of us. If not, that's fine too. So I want to be crystal clear once and for all who this is for. Now, if you aren't willing to work at this, and that's totally fine if you aren't, and if you just want more information to add to your knowledge that isn't getting you the results, then this isn't for you. You must be coachable, open-minded, and willing to invest in yourself and do what it takes to put yourself first and get your guy. This is for women, smart, successful women, who are committed to being in a loving relationship within the next 6 months or less. If that's you, then book a session right now because spaces do fill up quite quickly. So to apply, you can click the button below or you can go to www.getyourguycoaching.com/apply. Spaces are very limited, so sign up now. It will take you to a calendar, so just choose the most convenient time for you. Fill out our application. It's like 6 or 7 questions. And this will be the best 45 minutes you have ever spent working on your love life. After this call, in 6 months' time, you'll be the one in a loving relationship planning your future. Now, before I go, I just want to tell you a quick story about one of my clients. She came to me because she was about to be married and the guy called the entire thing off. She was absolutely devastated, heartbroken, her confidence was shot. In just a few weeks of working together, Nabila started seeing how inauthentic she had been and how her true self was never in the relationship. As we started working together more and more, she started moving in the most magnificent way, really stepping into her queendom and got clear exactly how she wanted to show up in her relationships. I am very pleased to tell you right now that she is actually in a relationship with an amazing man who cannot get enough of her and where she can be her true self for once in her life. I actually think wedding bells will probably be coming soon, and it makes me so happy to see her winning. She said to me, I wish I had done this work 10 years ago because this has changed my life. Yes, Queen. I can't wait to do the same for you. Again, my name is Anwar White, and I am honored that you attended this masterclass. Talk to you soon.